Good morning and welcome to Jukebox Judgment. Here with me, Dawn Parry on newdawn.fm. Well, we have a plethora of fabulous record producer judges on the show with me this morning. And with all of you as well. We have Steve Lillywhite. Good morning, Steve Lillywhite. And we have Boy George. Oh, Steve is coming in from Bali in Indonesia. Think, Dawn, fast. We've got Boy George coming in from London. Good morning, George. We've got PHILL Browne coming in from Sussex this morning. We have Barry Upton coming in from Pattaya in Thailand this morning. We have Steve James coming in from Brisbane in Australia this morning. And we have Luke Mornay coming in from Brussels in Belgium. And I'm coming in from North Somerset, but not for much longer. Good morning, chaps. How are you all?
Gorgeous.
Very good.
Morning. Good day. Lovely.
Fantastic. Steve, let's start with you. Draped in front of your four-poster lacy bed there, darling.
Indeed. Yes, yes, this is not my regular place of abode. I have decided to rent out my lily pad well, I didn't. Someone said, I've got someone to rent your house for a week. And I went, great, I'll take the money. Which is great because it gets me out of the house. It stops me watching Homes Under the Hammer, and I have to go and do something, which is great. So I'm very happy.
So good for you. Yes, indeed. And PHILL Browne, good morning.
Good morning. Hi, guys. Yes, coming in from Sussex on what looks like quite a nice day.
Ah, lovely. And how are your vegetables? Oh, that wasn't a Freudian slip.
Yes, they're doing very well. Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you for that, PHILL Browne. Boy George coming in from London.
North London, yes. Lovely North London.
How are you doing, George?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I've been back in London for about 2 weeks. Nice to be home. Been travelling a bit. Yeah, it's nice to be back.
And we keep reading about all the wonderful shows that you're doing, and everybody's enjoying them. So fantastic. Lovely to have you on the show, George.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Barry Upton, good morning, coming in from Pattaya in Thailand.
Yes, it's 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and I'm very, very impressed by all of you guys, including George, who's got up this early, unearthly, ungodly hour to do this show. So it's going to be a good one.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Barry Upton. Steve James coming in from Brisbane, Australia.
Yes, well, good afternoon from here, of course. It's 4 o'clock. And it's wet and miserable. Brilliant. Oh. I'm loving every minute of it. It's good to be cold and damp here for a change.
Of course. Only 2 hours to go before it's glass of wine time as well.
Absolutely.
Lovely to have you on today, Steve. Luke Mornay, good morning, coming in from Brussels.
Yeah, it's all good here. Coming in from Brussels, the blonde Brussels, actually, at this time of the year. But it's all good. I'm all good. I followed your advice. Actually, I went to bed early last night.
Ah, good man.
That's why I missed your call. It's all good.
Luke is always busy mixing and working hard through the night. So I keep saying to him, "Come on, wake up." Okay, now. Chaps, have you all got pens and paper ready? Dark glasses at the ready? Now, George, if you're unaware, when there is a track that we all, when the majority decide that it is not pleasing and isn't good enough for, let's say, airplay or whatever, we do tend to don our dark glasses. If nobody has dark glasses, just pop your hands over your eyes or something. Okay, let's start with the first artist. Right, this is... the track, this is called The Response, and the track is called Novel Idea.
Burn everything, walk out the door. If nothing survives, you don't need it anymore. I spent the last of me, got nothing to show. won't just disappear. Every mistake is a badge that I wear. Maybe I don't need to be repaired. Starting again is a novel idea, but the past won't just disappear. Every mistake is a badge that I wear. Maybe I don't need to be repaired.
The Response, and the track is called Novel Idea. Now, the Response are they are a duo from Christchurch, and I'm seem to be echoing on somebody's computer there. The audio is coming out somewhere and bouncing back in. Okay, so anyway, after years of sporadically teasing singles, Christchurch indie duo The Response have now put together Novel Idea. Interesting sound there, chaps. Staccato kind of guitar stuff going on. Lovely. Steve Lillywhite, would you like to go first, please?
Yes, I think as us in the business would call that a sticky groove. A sticky groove, which I don't quite know what that means, but I anything that's slow is called sticky. I thought it was pretty good. I liked it at the beginning. I thought his singing was a little bit monotonous. It didn't rise and fall with the song, and in fact, the whole song ended pretty much like it started. So I didn't feel so much passion from it, but very 80s, you know, bit of Howard Jones or that sort of thing. Pretty good, not bad. Well done.
Thank you very much.
How many Christchurches are there in the world, Dawn?
Probably quite a few. I don't know. We could Google that one, but I'm scared of my screen going a bit weird, so I'll do it later.
We'll do that for you.
Thank
you. How many
you.
Christchurches could they possibly be from?
Well, I think this is Christchurch, UK, by the way. They sent
I was thinking New Zealand.
No.
So was I.
No, oh well, you would, of course, but no, it's Christchurch, UK, and there we go. Okay, George, would you like to go next, please?
Well, if it was Christchurch in New Zealand, I might be a bit bolder. But if it's close, they might punch us in the nose. So I have to be really careful. I thought it was quite squeezy. It reminded me a bit of Squeeze or something. It was it felt like a Squeeze B-side or something. That's not me being bitchy. It just felt, I thought it was really good. Didn't think it was particularly revolutionary, but it was, everything about it worked. It was, I had my shoulders going. I didn't hate it. If I heard it enough, I'd probably start to like it a bit more. Pop music is a kind of sort of form of hypnosis, isn't it, really?
Well, Barry Upton would certainly agree with that one. Thank you for that, George. Barry Upton.
I heard Lennon in that track. There was a lot because there wasn't so much, as Steve alluded to, there wasn't a lot of movement in the melody line, and Lennon was good at that, and he was good at chord sequences, great chord sequences behind, like I'm the Walrus. I thought that he just overdid it. This guy, or these two guys, they overdid the chord thing a little bit, and there was a little maybe just a one or two too many chords, and they could have it did become monotonous because it was the same thing where it was just lots and lots of chords. So he needed a section where it wasn't so chordy, not so much movement on the music. But having said that, it was enjoyable to listen to, so a good start to the show.
Oh, do you know what? It was actually Christchurch, New Zealand. I've just got the
Okay, let's get nasty then.
Yeah, here we go. Thumbs up. Oh, the boys, honestly. It's Andy and Victoria here from New Zealand indie rock duo, The Response, and they are tuned in. Lovely. Thank you very much for that. Thank you, Barry. Phil Brown.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I liked all the space in it, which is kind of rare on some of the records we hear. So yeah, I enjoyed the space. Yes, slightly monotonous, but apart from the vocal could have been ridden so that it didn't disappear in places. I thought it was very good. A good start.
Okay, thank you very much, Phil. Steve James.
I loved it. I thought it was Nick Kershaw-ish at times. Those changes were quite Nick Kershaw. I thought it was well produced, nice mix. The only thing I would which is why everybody's saying it gets a bit monotonous, is the vocal could have been syncopated a bit more. It was always on the beat. He could have just moved that around a little bit just to make it a bit more interesting. But otherwise, I thought that was a great start. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thought it was well put together, and well done, the Kiwis.
Thank you very much there, Steve James. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, I really loved it. I loved the nonchalance in the singing, that was great. The sound design was great as well, and the hook was strong. The only thing I didn't like that much was the chorus, because we got used to the nonchalance, but like Steve said, something is missing to lift the track up a little bit in the chorus. So that's just let's say the missing link to make the track work. But otherwise, I really loved it. It was really enjoyable to listen to.
Okay, thank you very much. Too much nonchalance and a little bit more passion required.
Just the chorus. Yeah, just the chorus. Something.
Okay, seems to be the overall consensus there. Thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay. Well, well done, the response. You've actually, can they take it, of course, is our strapline here on Jukebox Judgment. And George, you could have been braver because they are a long way away.
I know. I did like it. I had my shoulders going. That's always a good sign. But trouble, when I listen to something and I'm thinking about it, I find it hard to enjoy it because I'm analysing. Of course.
Absolutely.
It's a weird process,
Indeed. And that's what we're all here for. Now, is that good enough for me to give it airplay? Yes, it is. But did it set my panties on fire, as we often ask? No, it actually didn't. So I would say a little bit more passion there because, competition is really fierce in the world of music, as we all know. Okay, let's move on to the next artists. We have Mad Danes. It's one word, Madanes, Madanes or Madanis, Madanes. The track is called Your Dog.
Your dog, he loves you even more than I do. Your dog, he loves me more than you will. He's wagging his tail, he rubs on my knee. Maybe you can learn from him how to love me. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't love me. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't love me. Your dog, just like me, can't live without you. Your dog, just like me, whimpers when you leave. Your dog is my friend, he can smell my soul. Without your leash on, I may lose control. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't love me. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't love me. And you're nasty cat. And you're nasty cat. Is a snow. Beating cry. Why? It
Mad Danes, or Madanis, Mad Danes, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, with your dog. Well, that was pretty innovative, wasn't it? Okay, he says here, I was in love with her, she was not in love with me, but in the meanwhile, a strong relationship developed with her dog. If only she could love me as her dog does. Mad Danes has a unique and melodic musical voice, it says here, that walks the line between Elton John and Ian Dury. Well, we'll decide that. And the fringe of the mainstream. Anyway, he was is a hopelessly devoted record collector since the age of 12, turned DJ for 19 years. Mad Danes adores hits with brilliant melodies. Anyway, so he's decided to write this and put this together. So what did we all think of it? Luc Mornay, let's start with you, please.
Yeah, I loved it. It was quite funny and original, as a track. Really interesting ideas. And I think it was, sometimes it's nice to dare stuff like that, instead of staying straight, It was well built, really. It was. And also at the same time, when you try to do something like that, you have to make it work. And it did,
Thank you very much.
Congratulations for daring on that. Love it.
Well, it's all art, isn't it? It's all creativity. Thank you for that, Luc Mornay. Steve James.
I loved it too. I thought it was great, very funny. I'd like to hear it again immediately. It was, some of the words were great. The only thing I would have done possibly is put some harmonies in the choruses just to lift that a bit. It got a bit monotonal there on the ow bits, but otherwise I thought that was really cool. A bit sort of Devo-esque even.
Thank you. Actually, very much so. Can I just ask, let's move on to Phil Brown for this next question then. References have been made to the comedy, the comedic value in that, and the fact that it was very entertaining. But is that likely to wear off, that element? Phil Brown?
Well, I loved it. I mean, I can hear that on the radio. I think the more times you hear it, in fact, it might even get better. But I thought it was really well put together, and love the lyrics. And I love a bit of quirk. So, I really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, Phil Brown. And Barry Upton.
I absolutely loved it. It was such a creative backing track.
Yeah.
It was musically, it was fantastic, that backing track, and it kept you interested all the way through. And I could relate to the song because I actually broke up with a girl once, much later than I would have done because of the dog. It was a golden retriever puppy, and I just remember that I loved that golden retriever, and it was such a big thing to come away from that. But I can relate to those lyrics, and I think there's other people who probably relate to it. So I agree with Phil. I think it's a great radio record.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Barry Upton. Boy George.
Right. It needed some woofs. I kept waiting for some woofs. I thought, where are the woofs? There were so many things about dogs that he could have put in that track. The idea is brilliant, because I've been out with people who like their dogs better than humans. I know people that prefer to be with their animals than with their partners. I just felt there's so many things about dogs' loyalty. They could have had some scratching percussion in there, but I was just dying for like some woofs, some great big woof choruses. It's a great idea to write a song about a dog, but there's so much you could say about dogs, their loyalty and, the way they ruin your house when you're out. There's just so many things you could have written about and made it even more fun.
And the fleas.
And fleas, exactly. Jumping from one dog to another.
Thank you for that, George. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I take on board what everyone says about it, but musically it was very interesting. I loved all those sounds. The thing is, if you do start going more towards the sound effects of dogs and things like that, you it's a fine line between a novelty record and something that is like maybe a little bit too, it's you make that thing. There's in Indonesia, there is a crazy instrument called a gamelan. That's one of those things that sounds great for about 20 seconds. And then you just want to say, stop it. And it's almost got that with some of those sections on that song. But no, it's great and well done for people who just push the envelope and have a big idea and manage to make the big idea work. And that worked. So well done.
Yes, absolutely. Is it going to get airplay here on Newdawn.fm. Yes, actually, it is. And I'm sure that if we recommend a few, maybe one that has a few woofs in it as well, I'm sure we'll get a few woofs going into it. Who knows?
Luke on the mix, we'll do like the Woof remix.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where is he from, Dawn? Where is he from?
That's all one word.
It actually doesn't say. Sorry, it doesn't say where he's from. But we have a message here from Smiley Barnard. He says Roxy loved it. Roxy is his dog, and she's actually put a high five paw up there. Okay, well that's good. I'm glad about that.
Yeah. She thought it was poor.
Very funny. Very funny. Here we go. Okay.
He lapped it up.
Right.
That was terrible.
Okay, chaps.
I've got a boner.
Oh no, here we go. It's going to get worse. It's all
gonna
downhill from here. I cannot even begin to tell listeners what the conversation was like on our joint group thread yesterday. But anyway, it was all a bit of fun. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Let's go on to another artist. This is Ollie Owen Jones, and the track is called Mrs. Jones.
I think of you all the time. There's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't want you back by my side. Remember all the fun we made, like when we'd go and play by the arcade. Oh, I miss you every day. See you over the rainbow. I know you're watching over me, like an angel with a halo. Proud of who I'm gonna be. Mrs. Jones, all cigarettes, strutting down the street in her leopard print dress. My old girl with her vintage hair, picking me up whilst I was falling apart. My ride or die. In this world it was just you and I. You changed my life. You changed my life. Mrs. Jones, what a great woman you are. Like a star, so near yet so far. Lungs are black, it's hard to see. Why hurt yourself so endlessly? Holding your hand as you fall asleep. My rock down on the golden beach. See you over the rainbow. I know you're watching over me, like an angel with a halo. Proud of who I'm gonna be. You were there, I'll remember your perfume on my teddy bear, in my heart and soul. It's time that I start living, 'cause you told me so. Mrs. Jones, all cigarettes, strutting down the street in her leopard print dress. That's my girl.
Ollie Owen Jones, and he is a young singer-songwriter. We have had Ollie on the show before, and in fact, he won with his song. That's this is a song about his grandmother, who was in fact the only person that he was able to trust. If you recall, he had been adopted from early on, and then unfortunately very badly abused and so on. This is his therapy. He writes through it all, but he's managed to get through things and has won himself a place at universities to study music performance in September of this year, which is great news. Really pleased for Ollie regarding that. Okay, now George, would you like to go first, please?
Yeah, I thought that he had a beautiful voice, and it's sort of classical sort of piano songwriting. Obviously, I couldn't work out what the song was about to start with. Once you gave it context, obviously it changed the way I felt about it. I think that you can hear there's definitely talent there. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure if that's the best song he's ever going to write, but I love the way he sells the song. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not obvious what it's about to start with, but I think there's definitely there's a great song in there. I'm not sure if it's this one, but there is a great song in there. I can hear that.
Thank you very much, George. Barry Upton.
Yeah, good performance. A few nice musical moments in it. I didn't see it as a single or a radio track. It's not something that I think is that enjoyable to listen to. And I think it was a little bit too cluttered. And it needs a little bit more structure to it, I think, the song. But if he's young and he's got to go through these kind of moments where you write a song and you don't get it quite right, but it sounds like he could in the future write a song and get it very right.
Absolutely. That could, not only that song was a bit cluttered by that whole keyboard, wasn't it, really? It needed space around such a lovely vocal.
Well, and the melody as well, just went all over the place. And that's okay, but you need some structure.
Of course. Thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. Phil Brown.
Yeah, I'm a bit 50-50 on this, really. I found some of the lyrics a bit annoying. It's a bit schmaltzy, I thought. And I didn't think his vocal something about his voice and the way he sang just really annoyed me, with dragging out certain words. So yeah, a bit 50-50. But yeah, I mean, a good effort.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Phil. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, obviously I love Ollie's voice, so that's not a secret, but I think that it was more tied by it's sometimes when you try to put a letter into a melody on something, I feel it got tied by the message first. I think the text before the melody, that's why it feels like it's dragging at times. But yeah, it's not his best song, but really nice effort. It's a tribute done right, I believe. We had the worst.
Yes, of course. Thank you for that, Luke Mornay. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, he has a lovely voice in places. But the thing is, as Luke said, and I was going to say this, I got the feeling he wrote the lyrics before he wrote the music. And he was trying to put the lyrics, which were a poem, into music. And in places it worked. And in places it didn't quite work. But, you can't. This is where Elton John is the absolute king of it. But, because he's never written a word in his life. He just sits there. Bernie gives him the word. And if he doesn't write a song in 15 minutes, he discards, So there's certain elements of the lyric that were a little bit jarring to me as well. But what a great voice. And as George so eloquently said, the kid will write a great song at some point. Whether this is it, probably not. But he will, because he's great.
I'm a big fan of writing the words before the melodies, because I think sometimes when you write to a melody, it restricts you. I think if you find what you want to say, you'll find the melodic way to say it. But I think writing the words first actually can be quite good. But, you have to know what you're doing, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, chaps. Okay, let's move on to Steve James.
I thought it was a beautiful vocal sound, but I found it really difficult to follow at times. And I agree with Barry that the structure melodically was difficult to keep up with. Lovely voice, as I said, and some harmonies maybe again, but lovely. If the story that you've just explained, Dawn, that makes a difference too. Now that it is in more context, that really does change things in some ways. And you're right, something wonderful will happen, but that for me wasn't quite there. I did find it difficult to grab onto.
Yes, well, it's more of a story, I think, wasn't it? About and it gives you it does paint a rather nice image of, this woman smoking a cigarette, strutting down the street with her leopard print dress and all this sort of stuff. I like all of that and the fact that he adored her so much. But from that could come an absolutely incredible song in time, a little bit more experience. I have to say, I actually enjoy he manages to evoke a lot of passion in his vocal, and that's something that is quite difficult for anybody to capture. And I know that has not been recorded professionally. So, if a professional can really get hold of him and harness that beautiful vocal and do something magical with a really good production, then I think Ollie Owen Jones, well, I will certainly play his stuff. Anyway, thank you for submitting that song, Ollie. Let's move on now to an artist called Grace Cope. And in fact, it was Chris Kimsey who passed this over to me. Grace Cope, and the track is called Summer Days. And this has been a real turnaround for Grace Cope because she wouldn't speak or anything like this, but my goodness, suddenly she can sing.
Changing, we're all aching and our smiles have gone. Things are changing, rearranging, now we've missed all the fun. I wanna go back to the summer days when we could shake all our pain away, and nobody cries over how much they weigh. To the summer days, la da da, da da. Back to the summer days. Hey. Most of us dreamed of having superpowers. Now we find it hard to even shower, counting the days, hour by hour, to feel something again. Things are changing, we're aging, now scared to go on. Things are changing, we're all aching, and our smiles have gone. Things are changing, rearranging, now we've missed all the fun. Summer days when we could shake all those summer days when we could shake all our pain away, and nobody cries over how much they weigh. I wanna go back to those summer days. Back to those summer days. Back to those summer days.
That is 19-year-old Grace Cope with her track Summer Days. And just 6 months ago, Grace Cope was unable to perform in front of anyone. And now she is lead vocalist on a song to raise awareness of Tourette's syndrome. And she's being mentored by a veteran producer who is, of course, Chris Kimsey, who has been on our show here several times. Now, and he's worked with the Rolling Stones, as you know, and Led Zeppelin, Duran Duran, and so on. Anyway, the thing with Grace Cope is that she was diagnosed with Tourette's in 2021. She's from Bedford, and she's been campaigning for 3 years on TikTok to reduce the stigma around her neurological condition. And then over the same period, you know, her own tics have actually worsened, and they derailed her A levels and all this sort of thing. But now she's actually got this new strength, and for the first time ever, she has been able to actually perform her songs, and that is her first song that is out there called Summer Days. Steve Lillywhite, would you like to go first, please?
Yeah, well, there is a history of people who have problems speaking and have that. There was a singer back in the 70s called Christopher Rainbow who was absolutely brilliant, and he could hardly speak, you know. But the moment he started singing, his speciality was doing Brian Wilson style Beach Boys harmonies, you know. So it's great. And you know what? This girl, Grace Cope, that chorus is something great. There is something really good. I mean, I got a sort of summer breeze, you know, and in terms of how the song was put together, I don't think it was put together like a record. It was, you know, it didn't have any musical hooks or anything like that. But as a showcase for her voice and as a showcase for the song, I thought it was very good. And you know, there's definitely some legs. That's the best song I think we've heard so far. I really like the song. It's just the way presented was not particularly finished, I didn't think.
Okay, thank you very much for that,
But it
Steve
had
Lillywhite.
an innocent charm to it.
Yes, absolutely. That came across very strongly, didn't it? Thank you very much for that, Steve Lillywhite. Steve James.
Oh, so, Steve's just taken nearly everything out of my mouth. I mean, it was fresh. It was lovely. I've written down here a lovely, innocent sounding vocal. I did work with Chris Rainbow, by the way, and you're right. He as soon as he sang, everything stopped. He was absolutely brilliant. That was really lovely, I thought. Nice song, and I agree. That's the best song we've heard today so far. Okay,
thank you very much for that, Steve James. Phil Brown.
Yeah, I mean, great lyrics and a good hook. I didn't think the mix was that good, which is surprising if it was Chris Kimsey. I just think the mix could have been more
Chris has been her mentor. She has actually been producing and putting it all together, is my understanding.
Okay, well, I mean, the vocal was lovely, but the backing track I just think could be more focused and a better mix. But yeah, it's a good song, good hook.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Phil Brown. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, the innocence on this track was great. It was a nice feeling. The only thing I thought about it a little bit was like she had to use more breathy vocals, you know, to make it more hairy, you know, so some sort of, because sometimes she felt like it felt like she wanted to sing something, but her voice was not there yet. You know what I mean? So a breathy vocal can help and bring, let's say, keep you in the mood of the innocence and the sunny days and stuff like that. But otherwise, great. The hook is great, and it's a nice also. Let's say she's a nice lead for people in our condition as well to to move forward with that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Luke. So a more breathy, intimate vocal at times would perhaps make it even more powerful.
And the mix as well, like Phil said, yeah.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay. Barry Upton.
Well, I agree with that because I thought the vocal was a bit bland. I mean, let's put to one side all of the preamble and all the background behind it, and just judge it as a song. I thought it was delightful. Overall, it was delightful. I thought her voice was a bit bland in places and needed a little bit more personality. I'm sure that will come in time if she's if she's progressing, right? But the thing that got me was, okay, the song was good. I loved all the harmonies, but why sing about, let's go back? Oh, things were better back then. And there's so many songs that do this. They say, oh, I remember when, and it was so much better back then. No, her life is going to be better in the future. So write a song, a more positive song. And I'm sorry, George is laughing. That's me with lyrics. You know, I love positive lyrics. I just don't like the thing about, things were better back then. So let's go back to those summer days. No, let's look forward to the next lot of summer days.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. George.
Well, I think we're all old enough to know that obviously now is always the best time to be doing anything. You know, the past is always a bit like whatever. But I really love the lyric about the weight. I thought that was really good and brave. That really stuck out to me. And if I were sort of advising this young kid, I would say, write a song about Tourette's. Yeah. Write a song about something that is, you know, really personal to you, that millions of people are probably going to relate to. I feel like that's where she should go. But, you know, it felt like a happy song that was a bit sad. You couldn't really place it. Is it a summer song or is it a sad song? The lyric about the weight, I thought was really stuck out to me because I just love lyrics like that. I think it's very brave, you know, to sing about your size like that for a girl. And, yeah, I enjoyed that.
Okay, thank you very much for that, George. Will that get airplay from me? Actually, yes, it will, because there was a certain purity and simplicity to her vocal and a real beauty to that chorus. That chorus, it really did have a hook for me. I loved it. You know, it's going around in my head now, the summer days. So, yes, well done, Grace. You will get airplay here on newdawn.fm, and we'll distribute that among our presenters as well. So thank you for that one. Let's move on to the next artist. And the next one, let's see who we got next. We have Evil. Hey, now Evil has also been on before. Evil is, where are we here? Let's see what we've got going on. From... I think it's Bournemouth. We'll have a look in a moment. Anyway, let's have a listen to this. The track is called, it's actually capital BR4T, Brat, MBL, meaning mobile. So this is Evil with Brat Mobile.
Right.
It is playing. Here it comes.
Till my body drops. Scream if you want to go faster. I am the ultimate driver. 100 miles per hour. You're good to turn out louder. The rush I feel is getting real when I'm behind the wheel. And I'd rather be up. The parties can't start my motor. Gonna see you in my rearview mirror. Nothing in my way, put the pedal to the floor. All limits like more dogs, turning my roar. Hot pink whip, even my airbags. Designer, could pay for a chauffeur, but I'm the sickest driver. Scream if you want to go faster. I am the ultimate driver.
Evil, and there is. Oh.
There's a reprise.
Oh.
The Snooker.
Hang on. Evil. That was Brat Mobile. And okay, so they are from. So Evil are Brighton's self-defined brat metal trio, and they're made up of singer-guitarist Eva Sheldrake and bassist, singer-producer Jude Richards and drummer Milo Hemsley. And in fact, Eva's father, Richard Sheldrake, does a show for us, which is on later today at 3 p.m, a 1-hour rock show, alternative rock, a modern rock, as we call it. Anyway, or as he calls it. And this is their new single, Brat Mobile, or Mobile, sorry, I said Mobile the first time, I think, Mobile. I have to say, she looks great. She's a great looking front person as well. And this is, serious rock. So who would like to go first on this? Steve? If you could unmute, please, Steve.
Unmute, Steve.
He's trying to. Bottom left of the screen, Steve. I know you know. Sorry, it's just not working. Okay, well.
I can go first if you like.
Okay, George, yes, you go first.
So I thought it was a lot of energy. Obviously, you can see there's a lot of energy there. That's the sort of thing that would really work live. I bet that track works really well in a live situation, but I don't really know what it was about. Brat Mobile. It was a bit sort of, what's this about? But I could see there's a lot of energy and fire there. And definitely, if they had the right song, they could probably turn me on. If they had the right song, they could turn me on. There's a word.
Okay. Thank you for that, George. Steve Lillywhite.
Available now. Yeah. Well, we love her, don't we?
Yes.
Her records are always of that genre. And we all say we're not fans of that genre, but we do like Evil. I think that's probably what most people have said when we've heard her previous records. I mean, I like it. What I love is that when I can hear her voice and when I hear her Englishness, I think that's very attractive, because a lot of people sing with a sort of American accent, but she sings that sort of song with very Englishness in there. And that's attractive. I mean, maybe she should try not always doing the auto-tune sound on the voice and try and ease it back 20% and let her real voice come through a little bit. By now, having done this shtick, which she's done a lot, she could, I'm not saying she should, it's her choice, but it's a way out to allow her real voice to come through and to have it a little less like a robot sometimes.
You're saying you should go country, aren't you? Go country. What's that? You're telling her to go country.
Country metal
first.
Country metal.
Okay, right now. Okay, no, we've only got a finite amount of time. We've only got through 5 songs, but this is great fun. Thank you very much for that, Steve Lillywhite. Phil Brown.
Well, I'm a massive fan of Evil. I just think everything I've heard so far has just been fantastic. Great use of this modern technology. I would have liked the voice up a hair in places. I did miss kind of what it was about. But I'm a big fan, so it gets a big tick for me.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Luc Mornay.
Yeah, obviously a big fan of Evil, and I wish them a lot of success because they're always great. But I believe that now looking at it, the Bratmobile is more like a reference to the Batmobile from Batman,
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
I think that's where it comes from. It's not the best track from the band, but I'm a big fan, so I really love, let's say, a way to their way to work on tracks. So there's not much to say here.
Okay.
So it's great, but it's not my favorite track, if I have to be honest.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Luc Mornay. Steve James.
Yeah, it was okay. This could be controversial. I thought it sounded a bit dated, to be honest. I mean, we've heard all those effects things that go, all that stuttery stuff and all those. It's Prodigy, Nine Inch
Yes.
Nails, etc., which I'm a big fan of. There's obviously something there. I didn't think the song was great. I think it was okay. I'd be interested to hear other stuff. I thought it was okay. It didn't actually rock my boat too much.
Okay, the fiery panties not happening there then. Okay, Steve, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Barry Upton.
Well, I was one of those people who, the last couple of songs that have been on here from Evil, where I've said it's not my kind of music, but I really enjoyed it. But I can't say I did with this one. I think that the ones we've heard in the past were better songs. And I love all the production. I love all the fact they're trying to be experimental and they're trying to do clever little things. But you know me, I'm a Pop-Tart, so I want to hear something that I can hang my hat on, and something that's going to get people singing along with it, maybe, or just something that makes it stand out. And I couldn't hear anything in that track to make it stand out. So another great production, but it just lacks a little bit of finesse.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. One of the things that I would say that is always apparent whenever we get a track from Evil is that they manage to harness a great deal of energy into their tracks. I know that, maybe hold back, as Steve was saying, on the auto-tune kind of sound, all that sort of thing. Yes, I get all of that, but they do still manage to harness a great deal of energy, and there is a great deal of positivity to be had from that, I think. So Evil, Brat Mobile or Mobile, I would say, will it get some airplay? It'll get airplay. There's no doubt about that. But again, also with Steve James, when he says it sounded a little bit dated or like it's been done before, in some ways, yes, very much the Prodigy. Anyway, let's move on to the next artist that we have here. This is These Four Walls, and the track is called Into the Ocean.
These words are a feather, spoken into the wind, never heard by the people they pleasure. Peace of mind, a feeling of closure, spoken into the wind, is diluted as piss in the ocean. North
Well, goes to show the reach of this show. Very international again. These Four Walls are a hard rock band, and they formed in Auckland, New Zealand, and are now based on the Gold Coast in Australia. And that was their track, Into the Ocean. Steve James, would you like to go first, please?
Oh, yes, I've heard about these guys. I thought that was great, actually. It was very well mixed. I thought it was well produced, lovely vocals, sounded a bit like the Killers or My Chemical Romance, etc. I thought that was great, very well put together, and yeah, they're literally just up the road here. So well done, boys.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Steve James. Barry Upton.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable on a lot of levels. I like the energy. I love the general sound. Again, not my kind of music normally, but I can appreciate that. I didn't get the song. I didn't really get the spirit of what the song was about. And I don't know. Steve said that it was a good mix. I thought the snare was a little bit annoying. I thought it was just a little bit up too much. And George is laughing. It just done me up. I kept listening to the snare and not listening to the vocal. I had to really push myself to listen to the vocal. I thought musically there were some very nice moments in it, especially towards the end where they went to a chord you weren't expecting. So yeah, there were some nice moments in it, but overall not my kind of thing.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. And Phil Brown.
Yeah, great energy. I think in the chorus, his vocals seemed to get a bit buried, and they could have perhaps brought in some other element on the vocal to make that, stronger. But yeah, good energy. Heard it all before, but pretty good.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Phil. Steve LILLYWHITE.
Yeah, it reminded me of Muse. I always had this thing about Muse. It was a band I really wanted to produce for a while, and I had this great idea that I would lock them in a room and play them just black music for a month, to try and de-robotize them. And I think this band could do with them de-robotizing. It's very, it's all very flashy. But it's a little bit all mouth and no trousers for me, I find.
Okay.
So yeah, it's okay. I mean, look, they're great musicians and well done. There's not a hair out of place. It's very well put together. It's all in the head. Needs more from the heart, for me.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Steve LILLYWHITE. Luc Mornay.
Yeah. Fantastic singers and musicians as well, but I'm not sure about the full-on stuff. It was like a wall of sound from start to finish. Was a bit lacking contrast. I felt, and at some point I was like, okay, because now we are forced to listen to it,
Yes.
But if we had to get back to this, I'm not sure about this, ourselves, to pick that track. And that's why I believe it was, it was full on, full gas, no brakes,
Okay, thank you very much, Luc Mornay. Well, I try not to. Well, I mean, this is a great opportunity for artists, and one that they shouldn't sort of really screw up wherever possible, because at no other point are they likely to get top record producers from around the world to listen to their entire track. So yeah, point well made there, Luc Mornay. Boy George.
I thought in parts it was a bit musical theatre, and then it sort of went into this Queen, 70s Queen. I could imagine Brian May sort of stepping out and doing his bit. Again, what everybody said is true. There's definitely talent there. You can hear there's a great voice. It felt like a lot of different ideas competing against each other. And when you said the title of the song, I was expecting some dreamy, moody ballad, and it just hit me like a freight train. I was like, so it was. It definitely got my attention, but I'm not sure if this is a single.
Okay, thank you very much for that, George. Okay, are they likely to get airplay on my breakfast show? Possibly not. I mean, it would wake you up. As you say, George, it hits you like a freight train. It would definitely wake the planet up. But I'm not sure that it would give that joy and loved up feeling that we all want to embrace first thing in the morning when we wake up. So, okay. So well done, though. These 4 walls with Into the Ocean. Let's move on to our next artist, please. We have lots and lots of messages coming in from lots of listeners from around the world, all saying they are really enjoying the show. Well, that's always great to know. Thank you very much for that. Okay, let's move on now to Fishing for Compliments is the name of the artist. Oh, hang on. Okay, there we go. There, so that was Fishing for Compliments, and the majority. Okay, well, as well. Sorry, but you know the competition is tough on this show, and the majority of us did put sunglasses on, and that means, what does that mean? It means. Exactly. It just means that. Sorry, but we don't continue to the end of the track.
Sounds like me in the morning. Sorry.
I'll send it over as your next alarm, Steve, darling. Okay.
No wonder they're called Fishing for Compliments.
Yes.
Okay.
Next.
Well. Yes, let's move on to the next. They are an indie folk band, apparently from Huddersfield. Well, there we go. Let's move on now to the next artist. This is. Let's have a look. This is Trisha Marie, and the track is called Cowgirl Impulses.
I'm in my crazy, feeling kinda ready. The thought of changing it is never once crossed my mind. And if you ask me why, it's probably 'cause of my cowgirl impulses. Scream and do it, don't think twice. Cowgirl impulses have you acting out of line. I'm so damn stubborn, it's a southern way. Cowgirl impulses. Cowgirl impulses. I'm in my crazy when I'm at the bar. You can probably bet on the fact that I'm buying rounds. I got the house all on me. You can't blame it on my cowgirl impulses. Scream and do it, don't think twice. Cowgirl impulses have you acting out of line. I'm so damn stubborn, it's a southern way. Cowgirl impulses. Cowgirl impulses. Cowgirl impulses. Scream and do it, don't think twice. Cowgirl impulses have you acting out of line. I'm so damn stubborn, it's the southern way. Cowgirl impulses. Cowgirl impulses. Cowgirl impulses. Scream and do it, don't think twice. Cowgirl impulses have you acting out of line. I'm so damn stubborn, it's the southern way. Cowgirl impulses. Cowgirl impulses.
Cowgirl Impulses is the name of that track, and the artist is Trisha Marie. And now, a few of you put your sunglasses on. George still has them on. He's being quite determined there. I didn't put mine on because it seemed such there was something a little bit different about it to me. Okay, all right.
The worst song since last week.
That's what you think. You should have heard the one that I accidentally did a sound test on, and I threw it immediately.
I'll take back what I thought about Fishing for Compliments. I thought they had something that was a little bit more meaningful than
Hang
that.
Hang on, Steve. Let me come back to you in a second. I want to go first to Barry Upton. Barry.
Because I like country music, and I have to say I hated this because as soon as the vocal came in, it kind of like was way too loud, and I saw Steve James as well, you know, get a sudden shock, and her voice just cut through you, and then the phrasing on the word impulses was terrible. I mean, that was really bad writing. So cowgirl impulses, you know, with the accent on the says at the end. So, by the time I'd heard that about 2 or 3 times, that's when my glasses went on.
Yeah. Okay. Steve Lillywhite. Let's get the full bore. Come on.
It was just horrible. I mean, I didn't understand why nobody else felt so abjectly horrified. I honestly did.
Come on, you've had a cockroach creep up your leg or something, haven't you, this morning?
No. It was horrible American rubbish. Get rid of it.
Okay. She's actually from Sheffield. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Are you sure it's not an AI? It's got that AI vocal sound.
Apparently not. Anyway, Cowgirl Impulse. Boy George.
I am not a massive fan of a modern country. I like country music, Johnny Cash, Tammy Wynette, Dolly Parton, all the old stuff. But modern country, you have to have a brilliant song. And there are so many people doing that sound brilliantly that it's hard to sort of take something like that that's so on the nose. Everything about it, all the lyrics were very on the nose. I'm at the bar buying a drink, blah, blah, blah. It was full of country cliches.
Yes.
And so, no.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, George. Come on, go back to your red glasses so we can see your eyes.
Okay, come in.
Phil Brown.
Yeah, well, I often complain that the voice is too quiet, but but when that came in, it was like a heart attack, and it was such a horrible sounding vocal sound as well. So I didn't put my glasses on because there was a bit of a hook there, but it was just her voice that was just atrocious.
Okay, thank you for that, Phil. Poor woman she's got her head in a sink right now. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, it lacked nuance as well. It was really like one line, or one level, and it was really loud. So I was quite annoyed quite quickly, actually, just before the chorus. And I couldn't find my sunglasses, so I had to improvise with my headphone. But I was glad when I was like, it's not just me, Yeah, but no, it was terrible. It was a dreadful song and a dreadful experience.
Thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay. Now, I felt as though I didn't. I just felt it wasn't that long since we had another track that we just went with. In fact, just the previous one. So, or wherever it was, and I just felt, should I really do it again, just like that? Is there no redemption somewhere in this track? And no, I couldn't find any redemption, but it finished before. Anyway,
you should use the track you've trashed.
What for? Okay, let's move on to the next artist. Let's move on to the next artist. This is Dalton Chase Brothers, and the track is Shoulda Brought. It could be longer than that, but I can't see it. That's all it says is Shoulda Brought. So Dalton Chase Brothers with Shoulda Brought.
So many nights I left you alone. You must have wondered if or when I was coming home. So many times I broke your heart in two. I was a fool, but I should have bought you in my arms. Never let you go. I could have brought you roses. I took for granted what we had. It's too late, and now I know. You gave so much, but I only took. When it came to giving love, you could have wrote the book. What I didn't see, didn't do what I didn't say, pushed you away. I should have bought you roses, then you in my arms, and never let you go. I could have bought you roses. I took for granted what we had. It's too late. Now I know. Couldn't have been more cold. should have done before. I should have bought you roses, held you in my arms, never let you go. I could have bought you roses. I took for granted what we had. It's too late, but now I know.
That was Dalton Chase Brothers and Should Have Brought. And I am going to ask Phil Brown to go first, please, before while I just search the details out on this artist.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, the first 6 tracks we heard were all pretty good, I thought. And these last 3, not quite so good.
No.
I don't know why they thought, I mean, the chorus, there was quite a catchy chorus, but why we have to have the auto-tune as a way of making the chorus exciting. I hate auto-tune at the best of times, and this was a badly used version of it. So not for me, I'm afraid.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Phil Brown. The Dalton brothers are, they are in fact revival artists as well, and have been around since the 80s. Just having a little look here is actually very little detail, and in fact, I don't seem to have very much at all on them. Okay, let's move on to... I've even gone to their Wikipedia page and it just says the Dalton Brothers Band and nothing else about them. Just the page was last updated on the 25th of November, some years back. Okay, let's go back to each of you. Steve Lillywhite.
You see, I blame Simon Cowell.
Oh, absolutely.
Since he got involved in being instrumental in changing people's opinions, the prerequisite for something being good is being in tune, right? That's pretty much all those TV shows were. Is it in tune or isn't it? You know, and that's where all this auto-tune might have originated from. You know, people think that it's wrong to be out of tune. It's all about context. And, you know, some of the greatest records ever made are so out of tune that you can't believe it. But, you know, and this was just heightened to such a degree that if there was anything in there as a song, it was just squeezed dry of any emotion. For me. There you go.
Not you.
That looks great on the radio, that, Dawn.
Well, it's audible, and this
Dawn
video...
Simon Cowell doll.
Thank you very much, Barry Upton. This video goes out straight after the show. So, yes, that was the Simon Cowell. In fact, George, your brother bought me this funny little, Kevin. So that was, Simon Cowell. And Simon Cowell actually is boring and dull. There we go. I said it myself.
At the best of times.
Okay. Who would like to go next on this artist? Steve James.
Yes, I'm sorry I've written horrible here, but you're right.
Okay.
The tuning, I think it's Melodyne they're using, whether it be auto-tune or whatever. It was just ridiculous. You can hear them drawing a straight line, you know, because that's what you can do. And the other problem with that one, unfortunately, my internet dropped out and I posted, and Barry said everything froze, and Barry said I should put another sweater on.
Yes.
Not for me, sorry. I
okay.
agree.
Thank you very much for that. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, at first I thought that the track we've heard before, the singer, that she had a brother, you know, it didn't sound good. I didn't like the track. The mix was weird and it was boring for me. So I couldn't connect with the track. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you very much for that. George.
I didn't think it was as bad as you all thought it was. I thought it was competent. I thought it was confident. But I would have sung, I should have bought you houses. I mean, you're not going to get away with buying women roses anymore. Where have they been? I should have bought you a Birkin or, a new car. I think it was confident, but it was a bit like the last one. It was just sort of country by numbers.
Yes.
It was like everything that should have happened happens. And you really want something that sort of stands out. And there's, I feel like I should have bought you a Birkin. Might have been funny.
Okay. Thank you very much for that.
You know what a Birkin is, don't you? Those very expensive bags you have to,
Yes.
Yeah. Months they take to go. You have to queue up.
By which time she's fallen in love with his dog instead. Okay, let's move on to the next artist we have here.
Hang on.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Barry, I'm so sorry, darling. I'm so sorry. Would I ever leave Barry Upton out? No.
Well, you just did.
I didn't mean to.
Dawn, you left me out last time, but that's fine.
Oh, well, but... Oh, no. Don't all cry, please.
Next.
I can't cope with men crying. Okay, Barry Upton.
Okay, well, as George alluded to earlier, there is some good country about, but there's also some terrible country, and that's the problem. There is the best country is the stuff where they write songs and they say things in a different way than we've heard. But like George just said about roses, that was the first thing that came into my head. Surely he could write something else, something, I should have given you something else.
Herpes, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Even that would have made it a fantastic country song. You see, there you go. So there's so much that they could do and to make it better. But the overproduction is because of country radio now in America, I think, and that's what they go for, is that really finely tuned country sound. And I prefer it in the 90s when people were writing great songs and there's lots of great country music about and great
Hang
artists.
on a minute. Hang on. You're looking back now. You said you always look forward. No, we don't go back and say how great it was back then. Come on.
Well spotted.
Okay. Now, one of the things I think that about the last couple of country tracks that we've just been listening to is that they are so highly compressed that it's reedy. It's a thin, horrible audio experience. Anyway, there we go. There's another one that sorry about that. Dalton Chase Brothers. Let's move on to the next artist. This is Paul Snook. SNOOK, and the track is called On Our Own. Please, no more country just for now. Thank you.
Pictured in a lonely room in the light of day, and feels like life has just begun. On our own, we pay the price one day. Memories are far too strong in her mind. Yesterday she felt so young. Just good times, pictured in a lonely room in the light of day. It feels like life has just begun. She's on her own now. We live our lives on our own.
Paul Snook with On Our Own. Paul is from Birmingham and was the bass player of 80s band Drum Theatre. They were signed to CBS and did get quite a bit of airplay with a song called El Dorado. He's been a session player with quite a few big names and is now a fitness trainer. And the song is a tribute to his mother. Okay, let's go with Barry Upton. Would you like to go first, please?
Absolutely loved it. It was not lovely and smooth. There was a nice texture to the whole thing. The only thing that spoiled it was that plinky plonky piano thing in the middle, which I thought, why didn't they choose a smoother instrument like a tenor sax or just to give it keep that smooth? And look, Steve is shaking his head and grimacing. You know, this is why we're opposite friends. No, I just didn't like the plinky plonky part. I thought, maybe the piano could have sounded great if it was recorded different, maybe not so heavily compressed, maybe just smoother. But I really loved the vocal. I've got to say the vocal was fantastic, and I did like the arrangement. And this is one of those songs where you end up listening to, I end up listening to it and thinking, I could listen to a whole album of that.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Barry Upton. Steve James.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was beautiful, lovely vocal. I think they could have been a little bit more adventurous with the production at times. It all got there was all the big pad the whole way through the song. It could have emptied out at times, but I thought the vocal was gorgeous, nicely recorded, and lovely melodies. Very good. Just a bit more space at times. It was a bit lateral.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Steve James. And Steve Lillywhite.
I'm sorry, Barry, but I think a saxophone on there would have been very cheesy. Personally, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I mean, I was there. It was very, very dreamy and drifty, and it was sort of contemporary. The chord changes gave me a little bit of Twin Peaks. I think they were the same chords that they used in Twin Peaks, which just gave it a little bit of eeriness, and that was very attractive to me. And you know, in the way that you know, the difference between something being cheesy and being sort of cool in this area can be very, very small. You know, like Fleetwood Mac always did it really well. They were fantastic. They were very classy, but I mean, the Fleetwood Mac of the Rumours era. I personally was a big fan of Oh Well and Albatross and,
yes.
And
Peter Green.
But no, this is honestly, I love this song, and well done, Peter Snook.
Thank you very much for that, Steve Lillywhite. And I think you're absolutely right there. There's an element of subtlety that manages to avoid cheese, which works extraordinarily well in that instance. George?
Thought the voice was very beautiful and fragile. And if that was snug on an album, I think it's more of an album track, you know. I think it's a voice. Obviously, you could hear the experience in the voice. He knows how to sell a song, but he needs a stronger song to be a single. But there's definitely something there. But for me, this felt like an album track.
Okay, thank you very much for that, George. And Steve James. No, we've done Steve James on this, haven't we? Luke Mornay.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, fantastic ambience as well. Really love the singer, fantastic singer. What else? It reminded me a little bit of Carlin Anderson and the let's say the male version of Carlin. You know, really soulful. So it really worked. So I will go with let's say with the gang, and fantastic. Congratulations for that track.
Okay, really, thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay. And PHILL Browne.
Yeah, I guess I'm slightly out of sync. I mean, I thought the track, you know, very nice, well put together. I enjoyed the dreamy aspect of it. And obviously he's got a good voice, but I did find some of his phrasing just a bit annoying, the way he dragged out various words. But overall, pretty good.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Darren Wilson is tuned in, and he's saying that he very much is enjoying the analysis on this show. Peter Straker is tuned in. Good morning, Peter. I love Peter. He's enjoying the show very much as well. Catherine Gormley from Scotland she's tuned in as well, and talking about how much they are all enjoying discussions that we have here. And Michael Boyer listening in from Spain, Barcelona, in fact. Lots of people everywhere. Anyway, so let's... what do I think of that track? Am I going to play it? Yes, I am. And Luke, if we could make sure that that is entered into the voting pool as well, the Revival Chart voting pool, because they have been around since the 80s, or possibly a little bit earlier than that. So well done there. Paul Snook, On Our Own. I enjoyed that track as well very much. Let's move on to the next artist that we have here, and just open this up. Right, this is David Young and the Interstate. David Young and the Interstate Kings. And I can't see what the track is yet, so we'll see that in just a moment.
Everyone.
So sorry, but that suddenly has just stopped. Let me see if I can drag it to where it was. There's got to be another way of doing this. Bear with me. Okay, hang on. I'll bring it up to there.
Pleasure's price is twice the pain. Get out today before the lid snaps shut on a shallow grave.
The track is called Cat Trap, and that is David Young and the Interstate Kings. And they have, in fact, I think maybe we're all moving to Nashville now. They have, in fact, moved to Nashville, where that's where they're currently based and writing songs and so on and trying to get out to a wider audience. They are from Maine in the USA, and yeah, there we go. A small town in Maine, in fact. And they formed in 2015. So let's go. There's a lot of background noise somewhere on somebody's computer.
I'm having problems listening to it here as well.
Yeah, it's quite loud. I don't know where it's coming from. Phil Brown, would you like to go first, please, on that?
Right. Well, I mean, I could see that being a T-Rex track in the past. I didn't really like the meandering guitar solo in the middle, but it was kind of okay. It didn't get my knickers going.
I got to tell you, the beginning of it got mine a little bit on fire. I just thought, oh, I love this, a little bit of glam rock stuff going on. But then, of course, it changed quite radically there. George?
I would call it Valium glam. It was a little bit lethargic. You know, the thing about Mark Bolan, Mark knew how to write a hook. He was the king of a melody. He just got those little hooks that stuck in your head. It felt like it was underperformed. I was expecting them to be a bit more mental. You know, all the elements were in there for it to be something quite sexy glam, but it didn't quite take off. It was a plane that never left for me.
Okay. Let's not talk about these things. You know, I'm flying a long, long way. Very shortly. Okay, thanks for that, George. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, the thing is, with Mark Bolan, you went left to right. It made your hips move, whereas this just made you go up and down. You know, there's a difference between status quo and, you know, and this had too much of the status quo about it for my liking. Plodding is the word, and that's about it for me.
I love status quo. Leave the quo alone. I'm coming for you.
Oh, I've worked with the quo. I've worked with the quo. I have worked with them. But you know, even when they did it, it moved a little bit left and right. This was just vertical, up and down, and that's very, you know.
It's the difference between a good marriage and divorce. You know.
Really?
And you got so much mileage with glam rock. You know what I mean? Feel like.
That was a very quizzical look from Steve. That was good.
It was, wasn't it? Well, okay. So, Luc Mornay.
Yeah, actually felt like more like a tape performance, you know, something that you would do on stage. But as a record, it's quite a pain to listen to because it doesn't go anywhere. In terms of performance, like George mentioned, you know, you're expecting more, let's say,
drama,
extravagant stuff into it, you know. We had a band like that from the Philippines. They were really good at it, you know.
Yes, we did actually. You're right. Yes, we did from the Philippines. They were amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
And unfortunately, this band didn't quite pull this off. Who hasn't spoken yet? Barry Upton. Thank you.
It was a bit of a plodder, and it's typical American. But the thing is, there are some good artists who do this kind of thing. That was a drop D tuning. That's why you like that intro, because it was nice and earthy and very sort of kind of grungy. But like George Thorogood, for example, would have done that, but he would have put so much more personality and fun into it. So it kind of didn't go anywhere. It started plodding, and like you said, Dawn, you liked it at the beginning, but it just didn't go anywhere. It just didn't.
Absolutely.
As George said, it didn't take off.
No, it didn't. And the other thing that was potentially much more pleasing about it was his vocal. He had quite a rich lower register, and he didn't use it enough at all, you know. And that's a bit of a shame, really. Steve James, have you spoken?
Well, you've just said it. I mean, no expression in the vocal at all.
No.
I mean, it was just sort of and no angst, no lack of consonants and all of that stuff. He wasn't spitting out what should have been spat out. That was a shame because you're right. I was going, yeah, that's cool. And then, it all became a bit ploddy and a bit bland because there's a lack of expression from the vocal. None, really. It just sort of meandered across the whole track. And he didn't pronounce everything properly. And, there's no... sorry.
Well, exactly. I mean, if we're going to go back to the knickers analogy, and not only do you want them on fire, but you want to be able to, all those women that used to throw theirs, swing them around their heads and throw them at Tom Jones when he was on stage, years ago. You want to get excited about music or about anything that is there to entertain you. Ultimately, that's what entertainment's all about. We want to be entertained. And although the start was very good, the finish wasn't. And that can also be the difference between divorce and a good marriage, actually, Steve. So throw that in as well.
Boom, boom.
Okay, have we all spoken on this now?
Yeah.
I think so, yes. Okay, let's move on to the next artist, which I think is going to be the last one that we can actually fit in this morning before we go on to our votes. So I've got to make a choice. I tell you what, let's go for, this looks like it could be a nice one. It's from Tora Da. And Tora, new word, DAA, and it's called Baby Blue.
Call me up, don't make assumptions. Better talk about it. You better get used to my rejections. Yeah.
So good in my room, begging me to stay, but the women so sweet and the liquor tastes good. So good. My baby, but she can't make me stay. Wants me to come home. I'm about to get it on. I'm burning up my phone. Well, I said, baby, I guess I love you too.
was Tora Da. That's the name of the band. She's called Tora Dal Agart and is Norwegian. She's a Norwegian guitarist, singer-songwriter, and frontwoman of her own blues-inspired rock band, which is Tora Da. That's kind of as much as we need to know there right now. My goodness, there's a lot of Prince thrown in there, and D-Light Groove, and all sorts of things. Phil Brown, would you like to go first on that one, please?
Yeah, it felt very kind of 70s to me, but with a modern twist. I think there were just too many ideas in there. I mean, it started off and I thought it was going to be great, but 2/3 of the way through, I was kind of, I kind of lost interest for some reason. So, 50-50. It's kind of cool.
She looks very cute as well, I have to say, especially with that great big guitar. Barry Upton.
Yeah, I enjoyed it up to a point. There was a few sections in it. I mean, I love that kind of little feet type groove. You know, the groove was great, and I love the little Prince sections as well. But every now and again, they were putting in this section which was far too complicated. The snare on a weird beat, and by the third time it happened, I thought, no, I've lost it now. If you took out the clever bits and left a decent song with a good groove, that would have been a good track. But there were bits that spoilt it.
Okay, quite a sophisticated sound, though, don't you think, George? Or sorry, Steve Lillywhite's racing to the. Are you sure? You sure? Come on,
George. Sophisticated. That's a big word. I thought it was too busy. Just too many things going on. It sounded like Prince, but without that kind of catchy Prince thing. That kind of hook. Again, music is that hook that sticks in your cranium. It was missing that. You could see that they obviously knew what they were doing. It was like great playing. Lots of great work with the vocal, but again, it's always about the song.
Of course. Thank you for that, Boy George. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, again, it was from the head, not from the heart. That's all I'm going to say. Next.
Okay. Thank you for that, Steve. Steve James.
Lovely guitar playing. Far too overcomplicated. Which is a shame because there were some great ideas in there. I like the vocals too. And just for all of us older people here, imagine how difficult that would be to do on a tape machine.
Absolutely.
That was all chopped within an inch of its life on Pro Tools, which is great, brilliant. But I mean, sometimes it's better to make things harder for yourself so that it doesn't get too complicated. I thought it was great. I did enjoy it, but at times I got lost with its cleverness.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Steve James. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, actually, it felt like the Prince album, Diamond and Pearls, with lots of experimentation at the time. But my main issue with that was, let's say, the timing. In terms of swing, it was really off. So nothing was really slamming.
Okay.
That's my main issue. And the sound of the drums were wrong as well. So.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Have we all spoken? Yeah, great. Okay, now we very quickly, because we have only got 4 minutes left, we need to come up with our absolute 100% winning song. Steve Lillywhite.
Oh my God! So I'm going to give a shout out for Evil and for Paul Snook very much. For me, it's either Grace Cope or Your Dog. I think I'll probably go with Your Dog.
Okay, thank you for that, Steve Lillywhite. Boy George.
Mrs. Jones.
Okay, Mrs. Jones. And Phil Brown.
Yeah, shout out to Paul Snook and Grace Cope and Evil, but I'm going for Mad Danes.
Okay, and
exactly the same, Phil.
Sorry,
exactly the same.
Barry Upton.
Is it?
Barry Upton.
I've got my top scores are I've got 8s for Paul Snook and for Madane's with Your Dog. I'm going to go with Your Dog because it's just going to sound great on the radio.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Luke Mornay.
Yeah, the response and novel ideas and Mad Danes, but I will go with Mad Danes, the dog guy, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, and who hasn't? Is it Steve James? Thank you.
Grace Cope, shout out. Response, actually, I thought was cool too, to be honest. That was the first track we heard. I thought the first 5 songs were really good, by the way. But yes, Woof Woof, wins.
Woof woof. Okay, well, woof woof is
No question. That was such fun. I'm looking forward to hearing it
woof
again.
woof wins
You're barking, you are.
hands down here. Gentlemen, can we please quiet a second, because we need to play the track, and we need to say congratulations as well to Mad Danes with the track Your Dog. What I would like to say, though, is that my vote as well, with regard to who has got the most potential with all of this today, I would have to say I actually think Ollie Owen Jones with that beautiful, beautiful, passionate vocal, and let's see what we can do to help in order to harness that vocal. Okay, but let's play the winning track today, which is Mad Danes with Your Dog, and let's hope they add a few woofs. Congratulations, Mad Danes.
Your dog, he loves you even more than I do. Your dog, he loves me more than you will. He's wagging his tail, he rubs on my knee. Maybe you can learn from him how to love me. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't love me. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't love me. Your dog, just like me, can't live without you. Your dog, just like me, whimpers when you leave. Your dog is my friend, he can smell my soul. Without deletion, I may lose control. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't love me. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't. Ow! It hurts when you don't love me. And you're nasty cat. And you're nasty cat. Is a snow. Bitter and dry. Why? I don't wanna be forever your best friend. I don't wanna be forever just best friends. I don't wanna be forever your best friend. I don't wanna be forever just best friends.